Welcome to the Explainer. Do you ever wonder why some apps on your phone just take off, while others seem to disappear? Well, today we're solving a mystery just like that, but for the world of finance tech.
So let's kick things off with a number that is just incredible. 4.5 million. That's how many transactions a payment app in Jordan called CliQ handled in just 1 month in 2024. Now, get this. Back in the entire year of 2020, they only did about 7,800. I mean, that's not just growth, that is a full-blown fintech explosion.
So that's the big question, right? In a world just flooded with apps, how does one achieve that kind of crazy, explosive growth? What's the secret sauce? Well, that's exactly the mystery we're gonna crack today.
All right, so to figure this out, a team of researchers in Jordan went right to the source. They didn't just guess. They talked to over 600 actual users of this quickie app to really get to the bottom of the why behind its incredible rise.
So, the investigation focused on 4, let's call them prime suspects, the main factors that could explain why CliQ got so popular. First, was it actually useful? Did it solve a real problem? Second, was it easy to use, or was it a headache to navigate? Third, what about social influence? Were all your friends jumping on board? And finally, the big one for money apps, financial risk. Were people scared of losing their cash?
Okay, so this might look a little academic, but the idea behind it is actually super simple. The researchers were basically testing a chain reaction. They wanted to know if our 4 suspects actually made people want to use the app, their intention. And then, did that intention lead to them being happy with it, their ultimate satisfaction? It's like a set of dominoes. One thing knocks over the next. That's the chain they were trying to prove.
So, who were the people they talked to? Well, the 604 users were a pretty good mix of everyday folks, almost a 50-50 split between men and women. And that's important, right? It means what they found isn't just for one specific group. It's pretty relatable across the board. All right, enough setup. Let's get to the juicy part, the results.
Okay, the investigation is over, and the results are in. It is time to reveal what really drove CliQ's amazing success.
Finding number 1, and this is a big one. The app had to be useful. I mean, it sounds obvious, right? But the study proved it. For an app to win, it has to solve a real, actual problem for people. No fluff, no gimmicks, gotta have a purpose. And when we say useful, we're not just throwing around a buzzword. For CliQ, this meant it delivered exactly what it promised. Super smooth, convenient banking right from your phone. We're talking instant money transfers, paying bills without a hassle. Basically, it just made life easier. And that, right there, is what people cared about.
All right, finding number 2. So it's not enough for an app to just be useful. It also has to be easy, like ridiculously easy. The researchers found that if there's any confusion, any friction at all, people will just drop it. It's all about making the experience totally seamless.
And the data on this was crystal clear. The easier the app was to use, the happier the users were, period. Honestly, if you're building any kind of tech, this is like rule number 1. A simple, intuitive design isn't just a nice little bonus, it's everything.
Okay, so our third big driver is something we can all relate to: social influence. Let's be real. What our friends, family, and coworkers are doing has a huge impact on our own choices, especially when it comes to trying out new technology.
I mean, this quote from the study basically says that people in Jordan were much more likely to try CliQ if they saw the people around them using it and saying good things about it. It just goes to show you, hearing it from a friend is way more powerful than any ad you'll ever see. That kind of social proof is gold.
Okay, so we've got our 3 main players, right? Usefulness, ease of use, and social proof. But every great mystery has a twist, and trust me, this one is a big one. You might not see this coming.
Think about it. When it comes to an app that handles your money, what's the number 1 thing you worry about? It's security, right? The fear of losing your cash. So you'd assume that's the biggest hurdle any new fintech app has to overcome. Well, the data tells a very different story.
And here it is, the big reveal. Financial risk was not a significant factor. I'll say that again. The fear of losing money did not really affect whether people decided to use CliQ or how satisfied they were with it. I mean, this completely flips what most of us would expect about financial tech.
So you gotta be asking, why? Why weren't people more worried about the risk? Well, the study has a really interesting theory. It all comes down to trust. See, CliQ wasn't some random startup. It was backed by the country's established banks. People already trusted their banks. So that trust acted like a safety net, making them feel way more comfortable trying a new app from them.
Okay, so now we've got all the pieces of the puzzle. We've got the key drivers, we've got the surprising plot twist. Now let's put it all together and finally crack the code for what makes a fintech app a winner.
So here it is, the final verdict on our 4 suspects. Usefulness? Guilty. Ease of use? Guilty. Social influence? Absolutely guilty. All 3 were major players in driving people to use the app and love it. And our big surprise? Financial risk? Found not guilty. In this case, it just wasn't the deal breaker we all thought it would be.
So how does this all connect? Well, those 3 guilty factors, usefulness, ease, and social proof, they all work together to do one critical thing. They build a user's intention to use the service. They create that desire, that little push that says, hey, I should try this out. And it's that intention that turns into long-term user satisfaction. So when you boil it all down, what's the secret code for building a winning app? It's pretty simple, really. Number 1, prioritize usefulness. Solve a real problem. Number 2, design for simplicity. Make it effortless. And number 3, leverage social proof. Get people talking and sharing. If you can nail those 3 things, you've pretty much cracked the code. So the next time you find yourself downloading a new app, just take a second and think about it. What are those invisible forces pulling you in? Is it because it looks really useful, super easy? Or is it because everyone you know is already using it? You know, understanding what drives our own choices, well, that's the first step to seeing where technology is headed next. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.